Lexington, Kentucky, we kick off the final day of the fall schedule in USL Super League with Lexington Sporting Club hosting DC Power FC. It's the first of 4 games across the league today. Hello everyone, alongside former Man United keeper Gary Bailey, I'm Maura Sheridan. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Let's take a look at the USL Super League standings. Both of these teams in desperate need of victories today.
Oh, absolutely. Especially going into the break, you want to end up with 3 points and a win. And a win for DC Power gets them right up alongside Tampa Bay Sun, of course, depending on results later. So massive, massive game for both sides.
Well, these two teams have already played this year. It was October 25th, and it was a comeback victory for DC thanks to Academy product Ali Flanagan.
Yeah, Mary-Kate McGuire with a wonderful header there in the 39th minute. Brilliant to the far corner, but then she comes on as for her debut as a sub. Ali Flanagan gets this goal. You're thinking, wow, what an impact as a sub. What a great strike. But that's not the end of it, because in the 90th minute, she pops up from the corner, bends down, heads it with superb power, gets the winning goal on debut.
Both of these teams are struggling in different ways. For DC, struggling to score, Lexington giving up way too many goals.
That's exactly it. Lowest in the Super League for DC Power, just a 6% conversion rate. But if you look at the goals conceded by Lexington, they are the worst. They are double the next worst, which is DC Power. To be double means they have a real defensive problem.
And for this Lexington team, still the only club that doesn't have a win at home in this USL Super League season.
And today is the day they've got to try and put it right. You don't want to go into the break making errors like this. Sydney Shepherd caught on the ball for the 3rd goal. There was an error between her and the keeper for the 2nd. So some changes have been made, one of them being Sydney Shepherd going to the bench.
And for DC, it's all about consistency moving forward. And on November 27th, DC announced that the club has mutually parted ways with head coach Frederic Briand. Phil Nana is now the interim head coach, and we had a chance to catch up with Phil pregame on the positive progress he's seen from Power FC since taking over.
The biggest thing I've seen is their motivation. I mean, the girls, they've been pumped. They've been pumped. This last 2 weeks of training have been really high intense, good energy. I think there's a sense of optimism with the group, and yeah, no, I think it's been really good energy.
And Phil, I've got to ask you about the fact you've made 2 changes, plus I believe you're going to go with 3 or 5 at the back. That's a change from the normal 4 as your first lineup. Why have you made these changes?
For us, it just suits our lineup better, and it suits what we think the opposition is going to come out in. We definitely want to stretch them a bit in the flanks, in the wide areas, so the back 5 would allow us to do that. And I think it plays to our strengths because we have 3 really good center backs, and playing with that back 3 and occasional back 5 will play right into their strengths. So for us, it was a no-brainer.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Well, a coveted 3 points on the line in USL Super League. It's the fall finale after this. Lineups and first kick on the other side between Lexington and DC. Stick with us.
We live with you, build with you, grow up with you, and dream with you. At Central Bank, we belong to the same communities you do. You're our neighbors, friends, and business partners. And through the relationships we build with you every day, we consistently serve you better. That's what highly personal banking is all about. We start with you.
UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine offers comprehensive treatments for bone, joint, and muscle disorders and injuries of all types, from complex repairs to complete replacements. UKHealthcare.com, the power of advanced medicine.
The atmosphere is going to be amazing. The stadium is incredible, and you're going to be watching the highest level of professional women's soccer.
This is just something Lexington hasn't had yet, and we can't wait to be a part of this for years to come.
New flavors, the same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked Bebidas.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
Welcome back to Lexington SC Stadium. Just about ready to go. Lexington and DC coming up shortly. Let's take a look at the starting 11s for both sides. We'll start with the home team in Lexington, coached by Mike Dickey.
Yeah, 4 changes to the side that lost to Brooklyn last time out. In goals, Bridget Skiba replaces Sarah Cox. Courtney Jones, we think, will play centre-back in place of Sydney Shepherd. Corrie Sullivan, as she starts. Autumn Weeks goes to the bench, and 17-year-old Emma Johnson, she gets a start. Mary-Kate Maguire, the scorer when these teams last met, is also on the bench.
And then here's the starting 11 for DC, coached by interim Phil Nana.
Phil Nana, his first change is to bring Adelaide Gay into goal, and Morgan Aquino drops to the bench. Adelaide Gay for her second start, 3rd appearance. And Anna Bagley, who scored the winning goal against Fort Lauderdale United, as she replaces Charlie Escort. And the big news, of course, as we chatted with the coach, a 3-4-3, we believe, or thereabouts. Lineup, a big change from the back 4 that was played under coach Fred Briant.
Well, it's a first game for interim head coach Phil Nana. You mentioned some of the changes that he's made. His team looking to make it 2 in a row, because the last game, which was, by the way, 3 weeks ago for DC, was a victory over Fort Lauderdale. Came down to a 91st minute goal from Anna Bagley. It will be DC to start with the ball. It's Nicole Douglas, and we are underway. DC in white kits, green kits for Lexington at home. Eric Tattersall is our center referee. Again, Gary Bailey, Maura Sheridan, thank you so much for joining us here today. A very busy day in USL Super League, as Constant being pestered and pushed back here. And Julie Mackin will throw it in for Lexington. This is start number 5 for Mackin on the USL Super League season. And quickly it ends up with Bagley. Well, DC being pinned back early. This is a team that has only scored 7 goals this year. That is the least amount in USL Super League. And I think hoping that some of these changes can generate some offense. And when we talked to Phil Nana about how he was going to approach this game and however long he ends up being the interim head coach, he said there's 3 things we want to focus on. We want to switch the point of attack a little bit quicker. We want to work on our overloads. And we also want to just understand when to press and when not to press. So those are the kind of the key points.
But in terms of the overloads, I think the wing-back idea is good. You play 3 at the back. You've got Susanna Fredericks as the right wing-back there on the ball right now. I think on the other side, Myra Conte, we will double-check that in a moment. And they'll be tasked with both defending and getting up into attack positions.
Well, that's a quick swing there for DC on the left side. Just a little bit ahead of Flanagan, who's boxed out, trying to make her way into the 18.
You talk about a lack of goals for DC Power. Ali Flanagan, who scored those 2 on debut, is the joint top goal scorer. The other one is Maddie Wolfbar with 2 penalties. So, you know, the regular goal scorers are just not there. And obviously Mike Dickey in picture will be hoping that remains the case, that DC Power don't score against his team, who haven't kept a clean sheet all season, which is a real problem for Lexington Sporting Club.
The only team in Super League that hasn't kept a clean sheet this year, and also don't have a win at home. And of course, that is the main goal here today. Coming off a really disappointing 3-0 loss to Brooklyn last week. As Nicole Douglas moves it to the right, off the bounce to Fredericks, who settles. 1v1, trending into the 18. Off her right foot, puts in a cross, and it's wide. Mackin intercepted as it's tackled away. Well, DC picking up some speed just outside the 18. Into the box. Player goes down, but we play on. It was Bagley. Outside, Fredericks is high with her shot. Just sails over the crossbar.
That's exactly the role that Phil Nano wanted Fredericks to play in that right-hand side as the overlapping wing-back. Get up, get into attack, support. Conte just doing the same on that left-hand side. And together, those two wing-backs already causing problems for Lexington. This effort, not bad, just a little bit too much height on it. Otherwise, a decent effort.
Well, Fredericks hasn't scored this year, a product of VCU, but she started every game for DC this season. Some physical play on the far side. Courtney Jones back in the lineup for Lexington. Skiba. New keeper in for Lexington. Fredericks aggressive again. And Bagley has it swiped. Bagley still with some pressure here for DC. Lexington struggling to get out of its own end. Benefiting off the turnover, it's constant. Fredericks wide with it on the overlapping run, but it's tackled away by Shin.
Interesting, Shin seems to be one of the centre backs, perhaps the centre back to replace Shepherd. Normally she's played at right back or left back. Seems quite versatile in defence.
Fredericks, Bagley just keeps it in, and Shin watches it bounce, but it doesn't go out. Not quite a corner. Fredericks. Duong. Wolfbauer too far ahead of her. Mackin. Well, Lexington using their keeper in Skiba. This is Skiba's 5th start this year. But Lexington had been using Sarah Cox as the starting keeper, and Sarah Cox has the most saves in USL Super League.
There's a little bit of a misunderstanding in the last match between Cox and Shepherd for one of the goals, and I think that might have persuaded Mike Dickey to start with Skiba, who did play the first, or played 4 of the first 5 games this season. And sometimes as a coach, you just have to make changes to try and build confidence. And interesting, in this case, both goalkeepers have been substituted, so both managers feeling that the change is necessary in the number 1 position.
Well, we talked about in the Open, Lexington has allowed the most goals in USL Super League. It's 15 more, so they've allowed 30 goals. That's 15 more than the team in second, which is DC. And they've allowed 3 or more goals 6 times this year, including that Brooklyn game.
Yeah, I mean, to have 1 or 2 more goals conceded than the second worst, but to have double, it really is a massive problem for Mike Dickey, and something that he's got to solve. But he's a very experienced, very competent coach, and had time with the U17 US national team and the Jordan national team in the Middle East. So he needs to bring that experience to bear right now.
Looking to transition here, Nicole Douglas blazes forward and ricochets that one off the defense for Lexington. Just can't quite connect on that counter. Winter, heralded by her head coach Mike Dickey as an unsung hero on this roster. Very consistent player, he says. Richardson off the swipe from Wolfbauer. Stretching out, it's kept for Lexington. It was Emma Johnson to disrupt. Moyer. Conte, aggressive, earns possession for DC. And now it's Bagley on the move. Sprinting forward. Up the pitch, moving centrally. Off to her right foot, takes a shot, and it just bounces to the keeper in Skiba.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't quite catch it properly in the Bagley, but what concerned me there was the amount of distance she covered before she was challenged. There were enough green shirts for someone to have closed her down, and she ran and ran. kept going, got to the edge of the box. I think in the end she probably ran out of energy, but defensively again, just not the best from Lexington, something that I'm sure Mike Dickey would love to get his first clean sheet and his first win at home in this, the final game of the fall season.
Well, it's been no wins in the last 5 games for Lexington as well. Last one was October 19th against Fort Lauderdale. Parsons could be a key for this Lexington team. 5 goals and 4 assists. Let's take a look at the injury report presented by UKHC. A fair amount of players out for both of these teams. Wolfbauer was listed as questionable, but she is in the starting 11 for DC tonight. And when we talked to Phil Nana about his center backs, he said that Wolfbauer and Constant are the players that he's been leaning on in this time of transition. And he said it's also helped because now that those two have developed some chemistry on the back line, it means that everybody else is more comfortable being aggressive because they know that those two have their back.
And as a new coach, he needs that bit of support. Interesting, you got one of the most experienced in Mike Dickey, and we mentioned his CV and how impressive it is up against a man who's on debut in the Super League as a coach, Phil Nana, and we wish him so much success going forward. Exciting to see new talent coming in the coaching position. So it's the newbie up against the very experienced coach.
Constant in a space, trying to slice through, does make its way to Douglas, who pushes it wide. Fredericks tracks it down and slams on off of Mack. And did it go out? Yes, and it's a goal kick.
I'm just talking about the importance of 3 points as we head into the break. Both these teams struggling near the foot of the table. They both need it, as we just see here. This ball will rebound back there. Ooh. Actually, I'm not so sure if it didn't hit the defender last, but difficult for the ref to see. But you know, if you go into the break having had a tough first half of the season, but you get a win, especially for Lexington, a home win, clean sheet, might just set them up for a good second half of the season. If you go in with a loss, wow, it's going to be a tough, long break, considering that you haven't had a good start to the season, and you know, the negativity going into the break. So again, 3 points here for either side, massive today.
It's a lot of time to ruminate on
yes,
that final
exactly,
game.
Exactly.
Flanagan races forward past Skiba. Not out of reach for Flanagan, who was all alone.
Skiba a little bit slow coming out there. Once the goalkeeper decides to come, you've got to get the ball, and Flanagan doing well to beat Skiba to it.
Served up for Bagley. Takes a touch, and she'll keep it in the corner. Fredericks off her right foot, looks to cross that in. Pushed out by Lexington for the time being. Constant just regroups. Douglas looking to square. On the wing now with Fredericks. Whips in across. And it takes a deflection, a positive one off the Lexington defense, and Perez. Oh, it's going to end up being a corner off of Lexington as Conte was sprinting.
Certainly the choice of wing-back seems to be working really well. Susanna Fredericks with that cross coming in. And she has just been bombing down that right-hand side in these first 10 minutes. And on the other side, Mara Conte is unable to get it there, but you can see she's providing a real sense of danger at that far post.
Now off the corner. Shot put on, and ends up with Skiba.
It's better from Skiba, nice and positive, comes and collects.
Constant. Slips in for Lexington now. Sullivan. Into the box with Richardson. Looking for Sullivan, who is standing at the spot. DC controls now. Well, everything in the final third for Lexington feels like it's been a little bit rushed so far in this game.
That's the thing about Lexington. We've spoken about their goals against being so poor, but I think they're the 3rd highest goal scorers in the league. So it's this weird combination of actually very good going forward generally, just very poor defensively. If they can, obviously, it's a basic statement. If they could tighten up at the back, certainly they can score goals, and that would help them win games.
They scored 17 goals this season, Lexington. And to be fair, this group is very young. As it's scooped up by Addie Gay. A lot of players just coming out of college.
Yes, and there are some real youngsters on both these sides. Emma Johnson today, just 17 years of age, and for DC Power, they've got 2. They've got Riley Cross at 17, and of course Ali Flanagan at 18. So great credit to both coaches and both clubs for giving these young players a real chance to grow in the game.
Mackin. Played long. Sullivan with the touch. Attempting to get around Wolfbauer, who does not allow that. To Gay. Sullivan with some pressure. And it's launched up towards the midfield. Mackin trying to control Douglas as well as she spins around, but it's with Lexington. Moyer. In a space with Sullivan. Looks to take a shot, but she's blocked. Moyer now resets. Moves it centrally. Johnson. Possesses now for Lexington. Outside the box. Again, blocked by the defense for DC. Looking to stay strong. 15 minutes in, no score yet between DC and Lexington in the second meeting between these two clubs. Mackin off her left foot. And Wolfbauer again steps to. Trouble getting it out here. Constant helps. And we got a foul. Well, in the aftermath of both hurricanes, Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit www.uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover. Douglas collides there and just kind of swipes at the feet of Shin, who goes down in some pain. Of course, Douglas is whistled for that one.
Interested to see how Nicole Douglas settles in. This is only her 2nd match for the team, a new signing, 24 years of age. Actually played for the England U19 team, so she has some international experience. It's a little bit later, nothing nasty at all, just a coming together of legs. And a long ball from Myra Conte. So this positive approach, Phil Nana, with the 2 wing backs, getting the balls forward early, getting balls over the top. We saw just before that, a couple of minutes ago, Ali Flanagan getting on the end of a long ball out. And obviously Mike Dickey will be keeping an eye on the way DC Power are playing. The new shape under a new coach. He wouldn't have known exactly what they were going to play, because it is the first lineup chosen by Phil Nana. So he's probably quickly adjusting and telling his players how to cope with this new threat out wide from DC Power.
Well, I loved what Phil Nana said about Nicole Douglas. First of all, she's a Chelsea Academy product, and as you mentioned, a very experienced player, but he said she doesn't have blistering speed, but she's really skillful 1v1, and that's helped this team be successful, good hold-up play, all of that. He called her a 9.5. She's not necessarily a 10, she's not a 9, and so she's kind of somewhere in between, and he loves that she's kind of just a different look of a player than what they're used to.
Yes, and then the pace has to come from Ali Flanagan running alongside her, and certainly from Susanna Fredericks and out wide on the other side, Myra Conte. They need to provide that pace for Nicole Douglas.
Oh, we've seen a lot of joy up that right side with Fredericks. We'll see if DC can capitalize on that. Winter. Picking up some speed, plays it long, over the top. Richardson. On the ball now, off her right foot, trying to make a move past Wolfbauer, unsuccessful. Richardson. Well, back and forth, out of reach for Moyer. Bagley for DC. Constant, the captain for Power FC. Johnson, 17-year-old. Here's Johnson again, splits the defense. Stumbling a little bit into the 18 and has some trouble with that one.
At least she's positive. That's what you like to see from a young player, and probably that's what Mike Dickey said to her. When you get on the ball, don't worry, just run at the box, see what happens. And she beat one player and nearly beat 2 or 3 there. And that's the positive approach that she needs to keep in this game. Get in that box. Defenders have to be careful, just a foot in the wrong place, and it's a penalty these days. So it's well worth getting in the box whenever you get the opportunity.
Well, watching these academy standouts has been one of the best parts of Super League so far. It's been incredible to watch, the talent of tomorrow get an opportunity to compete professional soccer the way we've seen this year.
There's Riley Cross, number 46 there, talking about another young 17-year-old player. Been very impressive in midfield.
Duong, Wolfbauer, Diorio, Conte, Duong, and Conte again into space, up the flank now. And finally some pressure from that defense as Flanagan just taps it, playing the advantage now with Douglas. Cross. Just loses Johnson, a defender, and lifts it into the box. Flanagan with the long strides, runs into Skiba, and the goalkeeper's there to clear.
That's a good save from Skiba. I'm just not so sure she needed to be out there. It was being dealt with by her defender, but she comes out and makes a block, so credit to the keeper.
Oh, Skiba has Champions League experience playing in the top flight in Denmark. Conte can't break free. She's fouled. And both players in some pain, her and Jones.
So look at this, how far Skiba comes out, and you could see that Madison Perez is dealing with it. Comes a long way out, Skiba, but credit the keeper. She makes the save, and then this here are coming together. Nothing nasty about it. Straightforward free kick.
Well, Conte's only played as Jones is still down right now. Clutching her back. Cause for concern for Lexington. I was going to say, Conte, heading into this game, had only played 97 minutes this season for DC. And she's showing off her speed up that left side and caused some problems. As Mike Dickey looks on, wondering if he's going to have to make a change here early for Jones.
Yeah, been a tough season for Mike Dickey. A lot expected from Lexington. They've got some good players and got a lovely stadium and setup, by the way. Absolutely world-class facilities, and credit Lexington Sporting Club for putting that all together. But obviously they would have hoped for a better start to the season, and they can still turn things around. But getting to that point, they would love to get 3 points here in the first home win. And they'll need to do better than they did last match. Last match against Brooklyn, they lost 3-0. They only had 4 touches in the opposition box, while Brooklyn had 20. When you're at home, you've got to get ball in the box. You've got to create more opportunities. And even here today, we really haven't seen them on the front foot much. It's been DC Power who have created the best chances, and certainly Skiba, much the busier of the 2 goalkeepers.
Well, you're the king of XG. I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. The XG .21 in that game for Lexington. So not the best mark there, just 2 shots on target. And again, looking for a bounce-back game here at home as Jones is still being tended to by the training staff.
Yeah, she fell awkwardly, but as I say, nothing nasty about it, but it was a tough fall for Courtney Jones, who got the start today at the expense of Sydney Shepherd.
Well, DC only scored 7 goals this year, but looking to make it 8 early in this match. These are the opportunities we've seen from Power FC so far.
There's Myra Conte on that left-hand side. Gets the ball in. Bagley just unable to turn and get at the goalkeeper, but it comes out to Susanna Fredericks rather, and she just puts a little bit too much lift in it. The bend is one thing, but the height meant that it was a comfortable one for Bridget Skiba. Good battling in midfield from Riley Cross. Simple ball over the top. And keeper comes out and makes a really good save there from Ali Flanagan.
Well, I think we're seeing some of the principles that Nana has implemented, especially on that Conte look and how quickly they switch the point of attack. We're seeing that so far in the opening 20+ minutes of this game.
Yeah, very impressed. I mean, he said beforehand, you know, we're going to get these wing backs forward and attack, and that's exactly what they've done. And they look the better side so far, but a long way to go yet, of course. But, you know, sometimes you get the bump. Sometimes, I say most times, you get the bump from the new coach. But I think it's not just the new coach, it's his change in tactics that have really helped here today as well.
Well, 3 weeks is a long time to be off, but I think with a coaching change maybe was helpful for this DC team. Of course, they played a lot of scrimmages in that period of time, and Phil Nana said it was maybe a little too long with a break, but grateful for an opportunity to just kind of ease into taking over as their interim head coach for Power FC. And we're back in action. Cross in her second start. Head on a swivel, up the flank. Looking for Flanagan, but it's taken away. Constant. Fredericks. Tap to Fredericks wide, puts in a cross, and Skiba scoops it up, no issue.
Again, Fredericks doing well to get the ball across. She was under a lot of pressure there. Nice little 1-2. Obviously, they've planned that, you would think, in training as they were knowing they were going to use that wing-back position. She plays a lovely 1-2, gets it back, knocks it to near post, but Skiba reading the danger.
Well, cheers to local beer. Wessex Brewing is proud to be the official craft beer of Lexington Sporting Club. Find their locally crafted beers all around the state of Kentucky, from the flagship Wessex IPA to Sixer Light Lager. There's something for everyone. Head to wessex.com to visit one of their dynamic tap rooms and learn more about Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC. Well, good to see Courtney Jones back on the pitch after having to step off. Was in quite a bit of pain. Jones has returned, and means no early change needed for Mike Dickey and his squad. Mackin. Right off of Constant and out of play. Richardson. Constant. Now for DC. Wolfbauer tracking all the way back. And she'll just slide that one out of play. Richardson on the quick throw. Sets up a service off her right foot. Conte sticks a leg out. Diorio with some time. Lofts that one up towards the midfield, and Flanagan plays through the lines with Douglas. Duong. Conte. Constant. Diorio. Flanagan in a pile-up, and it will be DC ball.
It's a clever play there from Ali Flanagan. She got her body between defender and the ball and kept going backwards and almost forced the free kick. in a very, very good position as well. For a young player, just 18 years of age, she shows some real good football IQ.
Yeah, committed to play college soccer at Wake Forest. As many of these academy products are committed to play at very high levels in D1. That's a free kick for DC. Attempting to get on the board on the road against Lexington. Launched it in the box, and it's headed away by the defense. Nothing much there for DC, but on the reset for Power FC. Moyer steps to, and she tries to hurdle over the defense and gets a foul call.
There's no doubt it's a foul. It's getting borderline yellow card when you make that blatant a foul. Katie Duong, such a crucial player for DC Power. Have a look as she's beaten. She's completely beaten and just grabs. So very lucky not to get a yellow for what is a blatant professional foul.
Excuse me, that was Jones on the far side. Remember, Jones just had to step off because she landed on her back, and you could see the grimace after the fact on that second fall. Richardson. Ends up stepping out of play right in front of the Lexington bench.
Here's his 3 back again. It's a system that so far has worked very well for DC Power. And Myra Conte, we've seen her do some defensive work and some attacking work, and Susanna Fredericks as well, both getting up and down, putting in a lot of effort.
Mackin, denied by Constant. Moyer, blocked. DC doing well defensively. Oh, there hasn't really been a clear shot from Lexington that's tested Addie Gay in any way. Duong. Conte. Cross. Slicing through, Fredericks, if she can get there, she does. Off her right foot, takes a shot, and it's off the crossbar and out.
Wow, that is so close. That is such a good switch of play. Absolutely brilliant. Look at this ball here. Played right across, she's in lots of space. Susanna Fredericks controls the ball, hits it superbly well. That is so unlucky not to go in from a fairly tight angle as well. And Lexington just caught, allowing a lot of space on that far side, and that switch of play was absolutely fantastic from DC Power.
Well, does result in a corner kick for Power FC. Duong will take it. Headed towards the back post. Wolfbauer's there, Constant as well, rising for it, defense. And it's just flicked out of the box, but Constant in the corner. Blocks out and a throw-in for DC. Constant looking to build off of what was the best chance of the game from Fredericks. Cross off her left foot, takes a shot, trying to tuck that in the corner, but Skiba covers.
Excellent play from DC Power. It's been a good first 32 minutes for the visiting side. That could easily have seen them go ahead. This shot coming in here doesn't quite catch it, does she, Riley Cross? And it's a comfortable save for Bridget Skiba, but the one before from Susanna Fredericks, what a switch of play, and what a fantastic strike as well.
Well, the Super League springs back into action on Saturday, February 8th. Catch Tampa Bay taking on Fort Lauderdale in the second edition of the Florida Derby, exclusively on NBC's Peacock Network. Now looking to make something happen. Parsons in the box off her left foot, and stretching for it is Gay.
I think that's the first real save that Gay's had to make, and credit Maddie Parsons there. The ball was allowed to bounce here. Claire Constant maybe not dealing with it immediately, allows it to bounce, and Maddie Parson just gets her body in the way, wins the ball. Strike not the best from her. For someone who's scored 5 goals, she's done better, but give her superb credit for actually winning that ball and creating the chance.
No, we haven't said Parsons' name much in this game. Hasn't been on the ball, and that's not what you want from your leading scorer. Lexington struggling offensively. Jones. Past Conte in the 18. Tough angle. No problem for Gay. Who's quick on the toss to Flanagan. Back with Lexington. Richardson this time. Cuts it back off her left foot. That was a tough shot, and it's disrupted by Gay just enough.
Wow, Lexington coming to life up front. 2 chances in the space of a couple of minutes. Nice little play here. Richardson is switching from left to right-hand side, cuts back here on her favored left foot, and not too far away, didn't get enough bend on it, but the idea was good and execution not too bad.
And here comes a corner, or excuse me, well, it didn't look like Gay got a piece of that one, but it will be a possession for DC. Mackin. Bagley. Duong pokes it forward to Douglas, doesn't make its way there. Shin. And 10 minutes to go in this first half, Lexington and DC. Chin. Perez, soft pass, Flanagan pounces on it. Here comes Flanagan into the box, taken down by Jones. 2 defenders swarm, play on. Winter was there to help out as well. That seemed promising for DC.
That's such good play from Ali Flanagan yet again. She is providing so much spark for this team. The young 18-year-old just gets in the box and then hesitates and loses the opportunity.
Cross outside the box. She's blocked by Perez. The other way for Lexington now. Looking to transition. Sullivan on the combination. Richardson on the wing, but she would have been offside.
Important for Hannah Richardson. She can see down the line there, so her job is to stay on side. And just gets caught, maybe a little bit too over-enthusiastic there, but for Phil Nana, really good first 36 minutes. He's got to be pleased with that. The positivity of his side, the pressure that put Lexington under. It's been a solid start from the new interim coach.
Jones throws it in for Lexington. You mentioned that they've come alive a little bit as of late. But I do think it's interesting because if you were just looking at this game, you didn't know anything about these two teams and their history, their stats, you would think it's DC, the team that is scoring at a higher rate, but actually it's Lexington.
True, maybe it's a new look DC under Phil Nana.
And a lot can change over the course of this match. Cross, swerves off her left foot, and it's wayward.
She's had a few shots, Riley Cross, and credit her for being positive, but needs to get them on target. She's got the power, got to get direction, and that one goes harmlessly wide.
Well, fans, visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington Sporting Club team shop. your one-stop destination for all the latest gear and official merchandise. From jerseys to scarves and hats, we've got everything you need to show off your club pride. That's lexsporting.com. Constant in conversation with Eric Tattersall, our center referee today. Moyer. Oh, playing through that. Kind of looked like Bagley might have stepped on her. Fredericks. Douglas. In a space, bouncing off the defense. Douglas, full 360, turns around, touched across, and was trying to swing that to the left side. Cross. Conte. Moves it towards the middle, takes a shot. Had a lot of power to it, but wasn't on target.
I just wonder if Conte couldn't have taken that wide and whipped in the cross. He's a very good deliverer of the ball. It's going to be a good shot from that far out and that angle to beat Bridget Skiba. She had a lot of players in the box, but again, good credit to DC Power for taking all these shots. Yes, some of them have been wayward, accept that, but they're positive, they're getting on the front foot, and their confidence is growing by the moment, you sense.
Parsons. It's touched away by Wolfbauer, who's arguing, saying that actually it went off of Parsons, but it will be a corner kick. We talked about how many shots that DC has had, a lot of positive opportunities, but that could all go away if Lexington is able to just convert on a set piece here. Off the corner, reaching for it is Gay, she misses, and stumbling, still fighting for it is Johnson, but no shot there for Lexington, the home side. Still in a dangerous area. Perez, Moyer, Sullivan, Conte. And Sullivan gets past her, whips in across. Nothing there again, DC controls. Cross.
I think relief for Adelaide Gay there. She came for that cross and didn't get anywhere near it. Unfortunately for her, it doesn't cause any problems. There's a bit of a scuffle in the box, but her defense bailing her out, Addie Gay.
Mackin. Fredericks. Offside is the call against Douglas.
It's important for Douglas to play that role, I would think, of holding the ball up. She gets caught offside there. First time in the sense of being caught offside, but about the fourth or fifth time the ball's come to her and she hasn't been able to control it. And that's why I think Lexington's been able to get more on the front foot. She needs, because she hasn't got that pace, she needs to be the one who controls the ball quickly, gets it wide, in particular to Ali Flanagan on the one side, or Susanna Fredericks on the other, or Bagley. And her touches let her down the last 5 or 10 minutes, Nicole Douglas.
DeOrio. Sullivan going at it. Conte against Jones. That's been a fun battle today. And Conte is fouled. She's got a good first step on that wide channel. Jones is having some issues.
Yeah, does well there, Conte, just to shield that ball and to win that free kick. Again, both wing backs been impressive this first half.
Oh, just a couple minutes left in this first half. Lexington and DC, nobody has scored quite yet. Although Fredericks on the ball now at a great opportunity off the crossbar. She launches that into the 18. Duong. Lexington in a space now. It's Parsons, a leading scorer on the ball. Head on a swivel. Just got Richardson making a run up ahead. And that just floats right back with DC.
Quite sure who that pass was for. I didn't see anyone in the area. Maybe the legs are getting a little bit tired as they approach halftime here. The players, a couple of misplaced passes the last minute or two.
Bagley. Conte. On the ball now, drives forward. Head-to-head with Jones again. Looking to create some space. Jones this time says no. Gives it right back to DC though. Diorio on the left side. Lofts in across, headed down by the defense. And pushed out for Lexington. A possession now with DC. Constant. Member of the Haitian national team. Constant has a lot of space to operate, so she takes it. Douglas trying to tap it forward, but it's right into a defender. Fredericks into the 18, off her right foot, blocked by Mackin. Fredericks earns a corner.
Again, Fredericks doing well, just in that space on that right-hand side, and if she had a shot on target, it gets blocked, she still wins the corner. That's what you want as a coach, a player who is trying to score, and if they don't, they still give you something to work with.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official.
Well, in a stoppage time, outswinger back post. Duong on the second ball, nothing there. Parsons looking for a counter. Richardson for Lexington. Slows the pace a little bit. Moyer racing two, looking for Richardson ahead in the box. Richardson shoots and she scores. Lexington leads. Hannah Richardson in stoppage time in the first half.
Yeah, crowd delighted by that, and a little bit against the run of play in the entire first half, but they'll take it, yes. And it's a great timing as well, just before halftime. Good play there. They're coming out of their box, so nice counter-attack play. Hannah Richardson in particular here, driving it forward, and then keeps on going, gets herself in a good position here. Shay Moyer, head up, just puts it into the path there. A little bit slow to react, perhaps, Susanna Fredericks, and Addie Gay, if you watch the goalkeeper, perhaps guesses it goes one way. She goes to her left, and the ball sneaks in at the near post. Watch the goalkeeper, just leans one way, and the ball goes the other. Could she have stood still and reacted to the shot? Either way, tough one for DC Power. I've had more chances, but delight for Lexington Sporting Club.
Well, Richardson was a big signing for this Lexington team because she played at University of Kentucky, so right here in Lexington was a superstar with that program. Bagley trying to find the equalizer before halftime. Constant, aggressive as well. On its way to the back post, Conte was there. A couple of players down right now is Duong. Skims off ahead to Skiba. But I will say, when we talked to Phil Nana for DC, he said one of the #1 things we have to do is stop them in transition. And we just saw Lexington score on a counter opportunity. I don't think the interim head coach is going to be too pleased about that.
No, he certainly won't be. And it's a tough one for him because his team have created the better chances, way more chances. They've hit the crossbar from Susanna Fredericks. On the weight of play, you'd probably think they should or deserve to be 1-0 up. But it's a tough game, soccer, and Mike Dickey will take what he's got and say, hey guys, we didn't have the best first half, but we're 1-0 up at home. Let's build on that in the second half.
Sullivan maybe wants another one before the break. Sullivan, underlapping run. Richardson going for the header there, just can't quite make contact. Moyer looking for Parsons. Should mention that this was the score the last time these two teams played, and DC came back to win that game with 2 second-half goals.
Well, I wonder if Phil Nana will bring that point up at halftime and say, hey guys, don't stress about it. We're in this game. And just look to Ali Flanagan and say, right, up to you to score those 2 goals.
Well, there's a whistle to end the first half. 1-0 the score. Lexington up on DC. Hannah Richardson with her first goal in USL Super League, and it's an all-important one for the home side.
That certainly is. They needed that confidence. They've struggled first half, and a little bit of confidence might turn it around, but I do think they need to plan in the half time and improve in that second half. For DC Power, it's been a really good first half, and just keep on going. They just slowed down before half time. Nicole Douglas not able to control the ball and feed in the players wide of her. But other than that, a good first half for DC Power.
Well, as expected, it's been very competitive in the final game of the fall schedule between Lexington and DC. 1-0 the score. Richardson with the lone goal, and the home side is up after 45 minutes of play. We'll take a break, back after this.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked Bebidas.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Race to the top.
You're on.
It's time to power up your old checking account. That's why Commonwealth Credit Union created Power Checking. This incredible all-in-one account powers your spending, and with built-in high-yield savings, grows your balance at the same time. No minimums, no limits, just unparalleled benefits.
Raise it back down.
So kick it up a notch with Power Checking, only from Commonwealth Credit Union, the official credit union of Lexington SC.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Well, some future hometown signings, perhaps. Getting some reps in at halftime here as Lexington is up 1-0 on DC after 45 minutes of play. Well, we're about to end the fall schedule here in USL Super League, so we got a busy day, but let's take a look at the news and notes across the league. Addie McCain having herself quite the season. Fort Lauderdale's on a good little run. They're above that playoff line right now. 8 goals for McCain this year.
A wonderful season, great player up front, and we wait to see if she can expand on that in the second half of the season. And obviously, you get the opening match against Tampa Bay Sun, the Florida Derby. So we look forward to that in February.
Yeah, Brooklyn's been having a great season as well. 5th consecutive win last week, and that was against Lexington. Let's take a look at the schedule. Mentioned this is the first of 4 games today. So coming up, we got Dallas and Brooklyn. That's a huge game, 1 and 2 in USL Super League. Tampa and Spokane and Fort Lauderdale and Carolina to end the day.
And Dallas and Brooklyn in great form at the moment. Absolutely brilliant. That run by Brooklyn has been fantastic. And Dallas Trinity playing some lovely football. So looking forward to watching that one later on this afternoon.
Oh, it's been quite the fall schedule. So exciting to see this new league come to fruition. So let's go back in time to the first ever goals for Lexington and DC.
On the set piece once again. Ball sent in. And this one will go in for Lexington SC. The first ever goal for the Lexington USL Super League squad. To Davison, and a tough ball, Jorian Bockham, and she puts this one away. That confidence now soaring for Jorian Bockham after finally seeing one go in the back of the net. DC Power's first goal in club history.
We'll take a break, come back after this, and we'll most certainly see this highlight again. Hannah Richardson with the lone goal in the game so far. Back after this short break with the halftime report.
Kids, you have 1 minute left in your game. 1 minute left.
Well, everyone's in the holiday spirit here in Lexington, Kentucky. And the home crowd's got to be feeling good with their side up 1-0 after one half of play. Let's take a look at the highlights. This one so far, Lexington and DC. And it's DC who's had the better opportunities, the more consistent opportunities in this game, Gary.
Yeah, they certainly have, putting balls in dangerous positions. Goalkeeper Bridges Keeper making a good save there from Ali Flanagan, who threatened throughout that first half down the one side, and we saw from Susanna Fredericks good pace down the right-hand side. This switch was an absolutely brilliant ball to Fredericks, who then smacks it against the crossbar. What a strike. So close to giving DC Power the lead from a tightish angle. Really is a good effort, and so unlucky not to go in the back of the net. And then slowly Lexington got themselves into the match. This little chance here, Maddie Parsons doing really well to outmuscle Claire Constant. The shot just lacked a bit of pace, but you could see that Lexington SC were getting back into the game, and they had a couple more chances towards the end, and one of those resulted in the goal from a counter-attack. Good ability here from Hannah Richardson just to find someone to pass the ball to, but then to continue her run, get in the dangerous position. Shane Moyer is going to just feed the ball through, and maybe Susanna Fredericks a little bit slow to respond. No cover on there from Duong, and goalkeeper Addie Gay beaten at the near post.
Well, that's all it takes. Lexington up. We still got plenty of time in this game. Here are the stats for you. So things are fairly even in terms of shots and shots on target in this game, but DC's had more possession time.
Yes, they've had more touches in the opposition box. They've had more passes in the final third, have DC Power. They've had 13 crosses to Lexington's 4. So it just shows you that they have been threatening more. They've looked the slightly better side, in my opinion, but they're a goal down, and they're going to have to score if they want to get something from this match.
DC trying to launch a comeback on the other side. We'll take a break. USL Super League action coming up after this between DC and Lexington in the start of the second half. Lexington SC Stadium, just about ready to start the second half. DC Power against Lexington SC. This is a final game of the fall schedule in USL Super League for both of these teams. And right now, it's a 1-0 lead for Lexington. This club is looking to pull off its first win at home this season. Couple of changes to tell you about, so both teams making subs at halftime. We'll start with Lexington. Grace Wisniewski comes in, Corey Sullivan is out. And for DC, Katrina Guiu comes in, Anna Bagley comes out. So those are your two changes as we're underway in the second half. Again, alongside former Man United keeper Gary Bailey, I'm Maura Sheridan. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
DC Power FC, number 21, Katrina Guiu, replacing number 2, Hannah Bagley, and substitution for Lexington SC.
Well, Hannah Richardson has, right now, the game winner, the lone goal, as we get ready for the final 45 minutes of this match.
Just looking at these changes, and interesting, I did feel from Mike Dickey's point of view, he needed to do something from what wasn't a great first half, so he's made that change with Grace Wisniewski coming on, the New Zealander. And for Phil Nana, they just seem to lose a little bit of momentum last 10 minutes, and Katrina Guiu, some fresh legs in midfield just to try and get them back on that front foot again.
No, Lexington in control. Wisniewski was the first signing ever for this Lexington club in the USL Super League era. As a player that was a reserve player actually at the World Cup in 2023 with the New Zealand national team. Perez. Jones. Parsons. An awkward landing there, but appears to be all right. For Wisniewski, this is appearance number 4 on the USL Super League season. Here she is. Parsons turns, squares, Runs right in the defense for DC. Parsons on the ball a lot more. Last 10 minutes of that half. Richardson off her left foot looking for goal number 2, and it's bent out of play.
That all came from high pressure on that DC backline. And interesting, Mike Dickey, when we chatted to him, said he felt that they were vulnerable to high pressure DC power. They conceded a few against Brooklyn like that. So they win the ball from the high press, turn, and then a little effort. Again, just not on target, goes over the crossbar. But again, credit Hannah Richardson for the, oh, it's risky. Credit Hannah Richardson for the positivity and getting that shot off.
Oh, Parsons trying to make some noise. Nearly does on that one, sticks a leg out. And Skiba, or excuse me, Addie Gay has to make a stop. Jones jumps over 2 defenders, Cross and Conte. Jones, Wisniewski, the sub to Parsons in the 18, shot put on and it's wide. Was tough because there was a defender right there for Jones.
Yeah, Maddie Parsons doing well there just to control the ball and just set it up for the shot. Lexington coming out looking better. Maybe that goal before halftime's given them confidence. They can see maybe their first clean sheet of the season, their first home win, and wouldn't that be a wonderful way for Lexington SC to go into the long break, the long Christmas break?
Well, I don't think it's a surprise that when your leading scorer gets on the ball more, good things will happen. We've seen that Parsons, the more touches she's getting, the better things are going for Lexington. Perez on the corner kick for the home side, looking to add some cushion as they go with a short option to Moyer. Serves it up, diving for a header, ricochets around, and it's cleared out by Duong. Jones still possessing here for Lexington. Johnson trying to take on 2 defenders. Constant. Those 2 in quite the battle. It's still in. Parsons helps out into space now. Served up, back in the box, rising for a header. Richardson was there, got a little turned around. DC now looking to transition. Cross is slowed by Wisniewski. Conte. Wisniewski doing some good work there, as Conte was causing all sorts of problems in the opening half an hour of this match.
Some good battling from Lexington to keep winning the ball, both here in defense and a little bit earlier in attack. And just looking at their stats for duels won in the first half, they only had 39% of duels won. Lexington SC, I'm sure Mike Dickey's staff would have given him some of those stats and probably would have revved them up a little bit and said, you need to be winning more battles, you need to be on that front foot, and certainly they've come out looking much better.
Johnson trying to slip that into Richardson. Wolfbauer instead. Just drives it forward. Sneaking in is Flanagan. Flanagan into the box. Jones steps 2. Flanagan comes up with it still, trying to shoot. 3 defenders swarm for Lexington. Gets some help from Douglas. And it's Flanagan who commits a foul.
Once again, Flanagan so dangerous. I just thought there was a chance for a shot here. Let's have a look at it again. Lovely ball through. She's ahead of the defender. And now I thought maybe just got under her foot there. I thought there was a chance to hit it. Once she didn't, there were too many green shirts, got back. But again, simple ball through and just good pace from Ali Flanagan. Maybe just missed the chance to get that shot off when she was 10 yards or so out. She's a real threat. Ali Flanagan, top scorer, as we mentioned, with just the 2 goals, which obviously explains why DC Power have struggled. Only 7 goals all season, but Ali Flanagan's got 2 of them.
Well, that was a little deja vu from the last time these 2 teams played, because Flanagan scored in the 52nd minute in that game. That ended up being the equalizer. She would score again in the 90th minute to give DC the victory. So obviously Lexington wants to avoid that sort of comeback at all costs. Diorio. Douglas switches the point of attack. Duong. Gio, a new addition coming in off the bench for DC. For Gio, this is appearance number 11 on the USL Super League season. Constant uses her keeper, Gay. Off the combination, out of reach for Fredericks.
There's that high pressure again. Lexington didn't apply much in the first half, but they've applied it to good success so far in the second half.
No, Mackin will throw this in for Lexington. Wisniewski. Back to her. Duong trying to keep it in. It's a corner instead.
Set piece is so important. It's a chance for Lexington to get on the end of one of these and give themselves a little bit of a cushion in this match. Neither side really having a high XG first half, both with .22. So Lexington doing well to get a goal from just .22 opportunities. And DC Power unlucky when they hit the crossbar from Fredericks. So both teams have done well with what by expected goals measurement is fairly low in the first half, .22.
Perez, 5 assists on the USL Super League season on an in-swinger up in the air and over the crossbar out of play. Question is who touched that last, as we just saw Gay and Diorio go down.
I think it was a defender at the near post. Goalkeeper Andy Gay came flying in but doesn't get the touch. Is it Duong there? I think it is. Just gets the header and then gets hit by a goalkeeper. She won't appreciate that.
So another corner for Lexington. Mentioned the 5 assists for Perez. It's the most in USL Super League. Just plays it out. Bouncing through, nothing much so far for Lexington. Wisniewski. Parsons with the cross at the spot, looking for a shot, yes! Wisniewski off the bench. It's 2-0 Lexington.
That's great for Lexington and Mike Dickey. That just gives them a little bit of cushion now and that 2-0 lead. And credit Maddie Parsons, her effort into the box was with power, and it just gave Wisniewski a little bit of time to control it, but she controlled it ever so well and finished it. Ball into the box here, not really dealt with completely by DC Power. You're going to see the ball comes to Maddie Parsons. She controls it, well, she hits it first time, in fact, across, but with pace. And it's that pace that just beats the defenders. Great first touch and second touch from Grace Wisniewski, and doesn't she do well to find the back of the net. Brilliant bit of skill there from the substitute.
That's a first goal for Wisniewski this season. And it creates even more separation for Lexington. Now, Lexington shut out in the last game against Brooklyn, lost that game 3-0, desperately needing a bounce back. And it took a while to get into this match for the home side, but they stayed strong defensively, and now up 2 goals.
I'm guessing at this stage, Mike Dickey's taking nothing for granted, because they were 2-0 up at home to Dallas Trinity 3 games ago and ended up losing 3-2. So he's probably saying to his players and staff, nobody get overconfident at this stage. We've still got work to do to get these 3 points in the bag.
Down DC has a lot of work to do. Parsons has been a real issue, created that chance. She is #1 on this team in Lexington. Chances created, third actually in USL Super League. She's just so dynamic when she gets into the final third. Well, if you're DC, what do you think has to happen here to really begin this comeback?
I guess you have to look to the bench if you're Phil Nana fairly soon. Loza Bera, the Ethiopian, very good player up front and capable of scoring goals.
Flanagan. Fredericks. Looking for Flanagan again, but instead it's Shin who steps to.
Just looking at that bench, Charlie Escort could be an option. But certainly as we head towards the 60th minute, you'll probably feel that Phil Nana will have to make some more substitutions to bring life.
Parsons bounces that one to Moyer. Moyer, cross, Richardson tapped home. Lexington on a roll. It's a brace for Richardson.
Wow, happy days. Now 3-0, maybe Mike Dickey can start to relax because you can't see them losing it from here, surely. But good finish, great little touch from Hannah Richardson just to direct that Moyer pass into the back of the net. Tough for DC as they're trying to go forward and just maybe not picking up tightly enough. A lot of space for Moyer to run into here. Look at this, she's inside the box before she gets challenged. But that ball just so cleverly touched by Hannah Richardson. Just a little flick of the boot is enough to get it into that far corner. And wow, what a change for Lexington from all the tough times they've had. Yet the fans are loving it, and why not?
Well, it's 3 unanswered for Lexington. All smiles. Searching for home win number 1. And this is going to be a broadcaster jinx. Should I say it? Looking for shutout number 1 as well.
Well, expect a phone call from Mike Dickey if they do concede.
I'll wear it, I'll wear it.
You have to feel sorry for Phil Nana because up until Lexington scored just before halftime, in my opinion, DC Power were by far the better side. They'd hit the crossbar. Their wing-back play was really working, but they just started to lose steam before halftime. Then that goal knocked them back, and to be fair, they've been second best in the second half. They really have struggled against what seems like a resurgent Lexington side. So, yeah, he's going to have to make some subs and just hope that they can come on and just revitalize his team.
Richardson again. She hurdles over Duong. I should mention that Moyer has combined with Richardson now twice. She's the one to assist on both of those goals. And then Parsons on that Wisniewski goal picks up her assist number 5. And so now she's tied USL Super League lead with her teammate Perez. And once again, this Lexington offense has been pretty strong this year, and today is no different.
Well, it's all about the defense for Lexington, and so far so good. But as we say, let's not jinx it too much.
Well, in the aftermath of both hurricanes, Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit www.uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover.
I'm just looking at the live table now. Lexington 19 goals in their 14 matches. It's more than Brooklyn, who are top of the table, and 1 less than Dallas Trinity, who are the biggest scorers. So certainly in attack, no problem at all for Lexington SC. And they're now 12 points level with Spokane and just a point behind DC Power. So if this win remains, which at 3-0 seems fairly likely, then they will end the season not too far off the pace.
Well, when we talked to Lexington's head coach, Mike Dickey, he said what's been so impressive and the lessons that have been learned in this fall schedule is that this league is so competitive and there's more talent than I think he even expected. And he said every team has 3 or 4 game changers and they're kind of looking to figure out who those are for their club. Headed towards a back post, some trouble clearing for Lexington. Just softly rolls for Perez. Moyer. Wolfbauer. Conte slides down. Jones. And Perez. Skiba. Oh, surging up the flank. Quick passes through the middle. And Riley Cross pounces on that. Conte, a little bit out of reach. You'll have the latest Lexington SC news right at your fingertips by downloading the official mobile app powered by Fan 360. Get access to exclusive content while shopping for season tickets and the newest gear through our online shop, all in the Lexington Sporting Club fan app. Parsons, Conte, both down after that collision. And Parsons is gonna show some sportsmanship, helping Conte up.
Just looking in the background at Phil Nana on the bench there and expecting that sometime soon they've got to make some big changes. They might not win this game, you wouldn't think. They might not even draw, but you want to go into the break perhaps having pulled one back or even two back and made a battle of this.
Douglas. Back to her. Slicing through to Duong. Lifted wide, Fredericks. 1v1. And it's tapped away by Mackin. Well, Fredericks was very involved in the first half an hour and been a little bit quiet here in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Same with Myra Conte on the other side. To be fair, it takes a lot to be a wing back in modern day soccer. You've got to get up and down. You're both a defender and an attacker, and that means you've got to put some yards in.
Well, a nice touch to Douglas, who's just off on that shot. Select the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Jones. Perez. Well, now if you're Lexington, you can just control the tempo. Possess a little bit. Let's keep DC off the ball, of course. DC the more desperate side.
That's a great position to be in if you're Lexington. At 2-0, if the opposition get one goal back, it's a bit of a battle, but at 3-0, they should really cruise from here.
Well, here comes a change for DC. Riley Cross out. Jennifer Cujo comes in.
46, Riley Cross in the 66th minute.
Cujo, a former NWSL player with Gotham FC. Also played in Denmark. Hoping to add some experience in off the bench. The midfield here. Jones. Cujo breaks it up. And slams that one off of Jones and out of play. Off the cross. Nice reach there. Skiba.
Skiba doing well there. The danger from that situation, if you don't hold on to it, it just dribbles out to one of the strikers to tap it into the net. So Skiba doing really well with good hands.
Another cross, this one a bouncer, Skiba, no problem with it. As Giu aggressive up that left side. The last couple of chances for DC. Up ahead, Richardson breaks free. Richardson in the box alone. Gay comes out to deny. And a whiff there, trying to clear for DC, but out of the woods for now.
Wow, that was a chance for Richardson to get a hat trick there. Put straight through. Wolfbauer totally misjudging that long ball. Really poor defensive work there, because she goes for it, and only the very end as she realized she's not going to get it. Richardson through, and credit Addie Gay, comes out brave, down at feet there, takes a knock, and even there, Diorio not able to clear it. So just seems the air's gone out the balloon for DC Power at the moment.
On the wing, Douglas. That cuts that back towards the spot, in a space in the box. Another shot put on, and it's Perez who clears this time. Just slightly out of the 18 now. Duong. Yeah, it all happened really fast for DC in terms of just everything falling apart. 13 minutes total. Of course, there's a halftime break in between, and that's been the difference. Well, Lexington has had quite the offensive outburst.
As they are capable of. Just having a look, they've got 3 players, Lexington, in the top 9 of the Golden Boot race, which is really impressive. So they've got plenty of goal scorers, plenty of players creating assists. Again, it's their defensive work that's needed attention, and so far, without wishing to give the commentators go, so far they've got the clean sheet, and if they do that more often, then they could very well make the top 4 and the playoffs with a good run in the second part of the season.
Well, we've seen with Fort Lauderdale, all it takes is just stringing together a couple of good performances, because this league is so competitive and everybody's beating up on each other, to move into a good spot. Well, Lexington, that's probably the ultimate goal, and hoping that securing a victory at home would propel them into a good position moving forward in that second part of the season. Starts in February. Perez. Shin.
Just looking at the way Shin's played as that centre back, you do get the sense it might be difficult for Sydney Shepherd to get herself back in this lineup. They have been well organised at the back. They've had support from the midfield, and of course even the strikers, and as all coaches say, defending is a 10-player game at the moment.
Douglas on the move, 3 defenders around, and her shot's right to the keeper in Skiba.
Had decent work from Nicole Douglas. She had an option there with Katrina Guillou on the left-hand side. Chose to go herself, but the final product just really didn't test Skiba much, did it?
Perez. From Constant. Moyer. Jones. Diorio's there. Jones. On the hold up from Parsons. Player down for DC. Parsons has some space. Surveys. Cross. Nobody on the end of that. End up floating towards the top of the box. Duong. And Wolfbauer just gonna walk with it. Wisniewski, who scored the second goal, tumbles down. Excuse me, actually, that's Winter. Dickey was very high on Winter and Moyer, and I think They've made a huge difference as Richardson looks to get around, and the defense collapses in time. West 6 Brewing is a proud partner of the Lexington Sporting Club with dynamic taproom locations all throughout the state of Kentucky. You can enjoy West 6 locally crafted beers for all your adventures. Enjoy a stadium ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC, at all home games or at your favorite retailers around Lexington. Richardson searching for goal number 3 in this game.
Good pressure there from Richardson. Doesn't win the ball, but the pressure gives them the throw in, and she has been absolutely fantastic this game. Grace Wisniewski's come on. I think she's made a big difference second half, not just with the way she took the goal, but her general play. That one, more of a pass back from a very tired Millie Parsons, probably. She's been part and parcel of the success, but Hannah Richardson, what a game she has had, and Grace Wisniewski, I think, might have played herself into a starting berth here, because she really has been a positive addition to the side in the second half.
They're just standing strong in the midfield, a lot of defensive work to go along with that goal. Oh, she pushes back Cujo. Flanagan whistled for that one. Off the push.
We were talking a few minutes ago for Lexington that they've been more solid at the back there with Shannon as a centre back, but overall they've defended better, and maybe that's the point that the coaching staff have got across to the players, is you can't just rely on defenders to defend. The midfielders have to, the strikers have to. You know, modern day soccer is about everybody almost playing every position. You need, you know, fullbacks pushing forward into wing positions. So perhaps that's what they've managed to figure out, Lexington, is how to defend as a team.
Flanagan on the wing. Shin slides down, making it difficult. Off a cross intended for Douglas, and it's booted out. Duong swerving, takes a shot from outside, and it bounces wide.
And that's the first time we've seen Katie Duong in an attacking position, and a stat that amazes me, she has created more chances in the Super League than any other player, 26 chances. But we've seen her very, very deep today, playing in a defensive midfield role. The moment she pushes forward, I think she adds a lot more to DC power.
Emma Johnson's gonna come out, and Kaylee Utley will come in for Lexington.
Substitution for Lexington SC in the 75th minute. Number 2, Kaylee Utley, replacing number 33.
Utley does have a goal and 2 assists this season. About 15 minutes to go in this one. Lexington up 3-0 on DC in the fall finale for both of these teams. And again, Richardson having herself a game. She breaks loose. And this time it's Constant. We've seen enough of that. The center back for DC. Nearly poked away by Moyer. Cujo. Duong. Fredericks playing it long for Flanagan. Tangled up with Mackin. Flanagan. Duong off her left foot, sails that one over the defense. Conte settles, looking for options. Cujo. Working around here for DC. Big shot, and a tie in the crowd.
What a game Hannah Richardson's having. Player of the match, you would think. Oh, nice little bit of skill as well. She's got pace, she's got a good touch. And she knew what she was doing there to get that through Diorio. She has that pace that you love from players, and they can get away from from defenders, and a good finisher as well. That touch for the second goal that she scored, the third one for Lexington, was such finesse, just to give it just enough of an angle to get past Addie Gay.
Very clinical, has a lot of tools to be successful in this league. And again, these fans are already inclined to root for Richardson because she played college soccer in this town for the University of Kentucky and scored a lot of goals there too. Once again, Lexington trying to make something happen and tripping up a little bit. There is Parsons.
Yeah, no rush now, just over 10 minutes left. Tough one for Phil Manor in his debut as a head coach in the Super League. And it's tough because they deserve more in the first half. Had they have come in 1-0 up, I wouldn't have been surprised. Maybe the game would have been totally different if that crossbar hadn't have intervened from Susanna Frederick's effort, but it is what it is, and maybe that's what he's going to learn from this first game, is it's a tough business at times.
Did look like that was out, yes. Parsons fighting for it. But again, the offensive woes continue for DC because still, they've only scored 7 goals in the entire fall schedule. That's not going to be good enough.
No, it certainly isn't. There's no question about that. Nicole Douglas, bringing her into the team, hasn't quite made the difference. Her touches haven't been good enough. If you haven't got pace, you've got to play others in. And I don't think she did that well enough. There's a couple of moments here and there. Ali Flanagan, for me, probably the most dangerous player for DC Power in terms of having a few chances, but she's young and probably didn't take the chances, didn't get the shots that she needed to, but she's got herself in great positions. But overall, there's certainly work for Phil Manor to do in this break, and maybe a chance to find 1 or 2 extra players he can bring in.
That's certainly an option for every team in USL Super League. Have to be, in this day and age, really invested in the transfer market. There's so many good players available as Flanagan stepped offside. I think too, as this league grows, players will be more inclined to sign. It's a wonderful opportunity just to continue playing stateside.
I guess the big problem for all the coaches, you've got a budget you've got to work to.
Yeah.
It's expensive bringing players from overseas, and maybe you can bring in 1 or 2, such they have done, to bring in Nicole Douglas, but hasn't made enough of a difference as yet. You never know. She might come good in the second part of the season.
Jones, Conte, Wisniewski, Perez, and a whistle there as Tattersall calling for everyone to calm down a little bit. It's getting a little testy, of course, as frustrations boil over for DC. 10 minutes to go.
I guess for DC, the way it stands at the moment, they're just 1 point above Spokane and Lexington, who are at the bottom of the table. So it's not a great position to be in, 1 point above last place. A lot of work to do to catch up, and there comes the first yellow card, is it, of this game?
No, the first yellow card. Oh, it's given to Guiu. No surprise, she had just been warned previously, and so gets that first yellow. Not too much of that one, but because she had literally minutes ago been warned, I think that is why.
Katrina Guiu in the 81st minute. Substitution for
DC gonna make a couple of changes here. Flanagan comes out.
Replacing number 11, Nicole Douglas.
Backham comes in, that's Dorian Backham.
Number 5, Joria Backham, replacing number 41, Ali Flanagan.
And then we're also gonna see Loza Abera come in, and Douglas comes out.
I'm just a little bit surprised at how late these changes are, with sort of just over 8 minutes left. I just wonder if these players could have come on a little bit earlier. Once you went to 3-0 down, it was worth making those changes to try and mix things up, but maybe Phil Nana had other thoughts in terms of waiting to see if those players such as Flanagan could do something more, but I just felt fresh legs were needed as soon as they went 3-0 down.
Jones. Perez. Shin. Wolfbauer.
Substitution for Lexington SC.
So here comes a change. Sydney Shepard in for Lexington. Out Hannah Richardson, and what a day it's been for Richardson. 2 goals in this game.
Yeah, she's been absolutely wonderful there. Good finish just before half time. She's got this pace and she's got the touch as well. And if I was her, I wouldn't be happy about going off when you're on a hat trick. The game's been won. I'd be saying, coach, let me stay on. I can maybe make this a 4-0 game and get my 3rd goal. But nonetheless, what a fantastic match there by Hannah Richardson.
Because she's had a couple opportunities where he thought maybe she would get that 3rd. But alas, I think she'll be happy with this game and with the almost certain win for Lexington at home.
We did have a chat with Coach Mike Dickey, and he said when they lost at home to Dallas Trinity going 2-0 up, he felt he should have brought a defensive player on earlier. Maybe that's why Sydney Shepard's come on now. He just feels that it's the right thing to do. Take no risks. Don't allow any team back in the match, and the best way to do that is to possibly bring on an extra defender.
Yeah, they want to protect this. Because when we talk to Dickey, you know, he wouldn't say this is so important, and he doesn't want to put a ton of pressure, I think, on the players if we need to win this game. But I think it's fair to say that 3 points can go a long way for this Lexington team, especially when the narrative is that you can't win at home. If you can change that before the break, that'll make all the difference for this squad. As Shepard tumbles down. Well, don't forget to plan ahead and join us for the first home match of the Super League spring schedule on Saturday, March 1st, when the ladies from Lexington Sporting Club take on Brooklyn FC at 7 p.m. Secure your seats today at lexsporting.com and continue your support of Lexington SC. Diorio. Abera. Less than 5 minutes to go in this game. DC hoping to get one back and avoid getting shut out. Into the box, Abera. Mackin. This clears it. Diorio. Tapped out, back and forth. Abera takes a shot, and it ricochets off the defense, covered by Skiba. Well, Lexington walks into this game needing to clean things up defensively, and it feels like they've done that today.
Oh, Lexington have. It's been a very, very good defensive performance. Ali Flanagan's had a couple of little half chances, but there you can just see the pressure coming on there, and it's enough of a pressure. Bodies back, 3 green shirts, good defense all around. Took them a while to get into the match, Lexington, but they really have been solid overall.
Diorio. Chin. Wolfbauer to Gay, or DC. Jones. Wisniewski on the ball. Already scored today. It's tackled away by Diorio.
Took a bit of a knock there. She won that ball, Diorio. Just feeling it. Don't need to lose her at the moment. Just the final moments of the match, really. It's just all about Lexington keeping that clean sheet. You would think that's so important to them as Maddie Parsons comes off. What a good player she is for this team.
Now Mary Kate McGuire comes in. Now Parsons with the assist on that second goal.
Not bad, but you can bring Mary Kate McGuire off the bench because she's a good finisher, good player, and that's the quality they have. Lexington, and for I think the first time this season, Mike Dickey is probably relaxing, going, all right, there's a minute left, we're 3-0 up, we've got this one in the bag. We've got our first home win and potentially our first clean sheet. Maybe you can start to feel that the second half of the season has potentially a lot of good things waiting for them, because as we've said before, they can score plenty of goals. It's just the defensive work that they have to get right, and they've got it right today. They really have done a good job. Grace Wisniewski, I think a definite player in midfield, because she has brought something a little bit extra, both defensively and the fact that she can score goals as well.
Well, I think it says a lot about this Lexington team, too, that they're able to weather the storm from DC and still have the confidence to continue in the second half, and came out swinging. Even that first goal before the break from Richardson.
I think you speak to any coach, they'll tell you, step number one, get defensively tight.
Yeah.
If you give nothing away, you're always in the match, and that's what happened to DC last game against Fort Lauderdale. Their XG was way lower, their chances were way lower, and then what happened, 92nd minute, big ball in the box, Anna Bagley gets a flick on, and they get a win. So as long as you're defensively tight, you have every chance of success, and that's what Lexington have been working towards, and today they seem to have achieved it.
Well, it's the age-old saying that coaches love to just constantly talk about, which is that defense does win championships, and building out from the back tends to work. Just 2 minutes of stoppage time. You know, I think 3 goals often wins you games too.
Oh, I think they're safe now.
Yes.
It's just whether they keep the clean sheet or not. And I think that's important to them psychologically. It's been a good defensive performance, but to have the clean sheet just puts a little bit of a bow on it, and it really has been a confidence boosting win as well, I think, for Lexington. For DC, it's back to the drawing board. Their wing-back system worked very well first half. It got shut down second half. And of course, they need a striker desperately. Loza Berra hasn't scored enough for this team. In fact, she hasn't scored at all. So she can't be a number 9 if she's not scoring. And then we saw that Douglas in the first half there just struggled to make a real impact.
Oh, Fredericks is down for DC on that far side. A constant checking on her. Holding that left leg. It's going to scoot off the pitch.
Just looking at Fredericks, she had such a good first half. Oh, she gets a kick on the left ankle. You can see that. That's painful. But a lot of teams will substitute their wingbacks after about 60-odd minutes because they do so much work up and down. Both Fredericks has been kept on, and Conte by Phil Nana. I wonder if in future matches he might find alternate wingbacks to bring on for the end of the game.
Well, that's probably the thing, is they're trying to figure out who that would be to come in. Again, this is the first game for Phil Nana. But there's a final whistle. Lexington beats DC 3-0. It's the first home win in club history and the first clean sheet in club history for Lexington SC.
Hugs all round on the bench. You can just see the relief on the coaches and the assistant coaches' faces. They knew this was in the bag somewhere. It was going to come if they could just get their defense sorted. And look at the players. They know as well. That's why I say the clean sheet and the good win and the home win is that it gives you a confidence that you can't sort of explain. You just know it. It floods through you. And what a great way to go into the break. What a fantastic win for Lexington's SC.
Oh, just a complete performance for the home side. Coach Dickey's going to be really happy with how his team played today. Hoping to build off of that in the future. Lexington ends the fall schedule with a 3-0 win over DC Power. We'll take a break, we'll come back, and we'll break this one down on the other side. But a dominant victory and the first ever home win, first ever shutout for Lexington SC.
I can't really hear them. Hello?
Hey, Hannah, can you hear us?
I can't really hear them at all. I don't hear anything.
Hey, Hannah, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. All right, it's myself, Maura, and Gary. We'll be back from break in just a couple minutes here.
Okay. It's really faint. It's really faint, but I'm just gonna have to hold it like that.
Hey, Hannah, can you hear me as well? It's Gary.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Welcome back to Lexington, Kentucky. Final score 3-0 Lexington with a big victory over DC to close out the fall schedule here in USL Super League. And we are joined by the star of the match for Lexington, a brace for Hannah Richardson. Hannah, 2 goals, both assists from Moyer. What'd you see on both of those opportunities?
Yeah, I just think, honestly, I wasn't even expecting Shay to be there. I just turned and then saw her out wide. And then just going straight to goal. The coaches have been telling me whenever I'm close to goal, just take my chances. And I think I needed to really be confident there. So I just went for it. And then the second goal, when Shay crossed it in, just wanted to do a little deflection. And it ended up going in. So just happy to get 3 points today. It's huge.
And Hannah, just talk to us about the clean sheet. It's been so important for you. Was this all about a good team defense from forwards down to defenders themselves?
Yeah, no, a clean sheet is huge. That's something that we haven't had all year. So I think we just all had to dig really deep the whole game, and even all training leading up to it, just being super disciplined. It takes all 11 players and the game changers off the bench to get a clean sheet and to win a game. So I'm just super proud of the girls.
Yeah, what about a home victory? It's taken a while, but finally a home win. What does it mean to accomplish that today?
Yeah, it's great. Just super happy that we finally got our home win, and it's going to be great to take this momentum into the new year. So then we come back from break, our confidence will be even higher, and hopefully we can keep this home streak going.
Thanks, Hannah. Congrats on the win and congrats on the brace.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at the stats from this game. Well, it's been, at halftime it was even, ended up being pretty even, but in terms of shots on target, Lexington has the advantage, of course, winning 3-0.
Yes, they were much better second half. They totally dominated, but even with the stats, it's the way they took their chances. They were clinical, and especially Hannah Richardson, absolutely clinical. It's not to say DC Power didn't have chances, especially first half. They couldn't take them. Lexington did, and that's the big difference between the two teams.
Well, it was a great game for Lexington. First home win, first clean sheet, a 3-0 victory over DC Power in the fall finale. So a break for both of these teams until February. That's going to do it for our entire crew. From Gary Bailey, I'm Maura Sheridan saying so long. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Remember, 3 more games coming up in USL Super League, so make sure to tune into those.